know you've been eagerly awaiting our next challenge. We're going from Buc-ee's to, this is gonna be our hard one, I think. And I think it's hard for a lot of people. We are committed to 7 days of no complaining.
None, no complaining.
0. So let's see, what's the definition of complaining? Let me get that for you. To express dissatisfaction, annoyance about something. It's a state that one is suffering from a pain or other symptom, which that's gonna be a hard one, right?
Yeah.
Like you pull a hammy on a run, or you got a hip problem on a walk.
Yeah.
Which happened the other night.
All the time.
Not complaining about that. That's gonna be interesting. So why do this challenge? I am motivated to do this because I think we do it way too often. Have you ever heard that old saying where people will be like, yell into a pillow, it'll make you feel better?
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I don't think that works. I think it just brings up the negativity. You end up recycling it. It's not positive.
No, not at all. And I think that we complain far more than we think we do, right? So one of the reasons that I want to do it is I want to actually be conscious of how much I do it in a day.
Right.
Or even in an hour, right?
I think we do it way more than we think we do. And I think the hard part is going to be this. Actually catching yourself complaining.
I know, right?
Right? And you know what, we all know what complaining is. It feels different than just making a statement about something, right? There's this angst behind it. What I hope to get out of it is just to see the difference. Like what will I have a little bit more of a positive outlook on things after a week of not complaining? And also just how challenging it is in general.
Yeah, we always go into these challenges thinking that, oh, this is going to be easy, and it ends up being way harder than we thought. So I personally think this is going to be hard.
So the goal is to keep a daily diary. You can write it down, but most importantly, we're going to do a daily vlog.
Yes.
Individually, not with each other, and then we're going to come together at the end and kind of review. That way we can kind of have our own private moment, how it's been going for us.
Yeah, we need to do our own homework on it. Like, how are we individually feeling about, is it hard? Is it easy? You know, so
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
I'm not going to complain that we're doing this video. I'm excited to do it. I'm optimistic, hopeful.
Yeah.
First thing that happened is we get back from walking down to the park and I'm sweating. And I start complaining how bad I'm sweating, how hot it is. And Jason said, well, that really counts because you're starting to complain.
I'll admit it's easy, no problem. I got no problems with no complaining. The funny thing is though, Mindy's not here. She's house sitting for somebody. So because she's not here, it's been pretty easy because I'm not actually talking very much.
We walk up to the house, we get in the house, all's quiet, we're going along with our day. And I was cleaning and I looked into the sink and I left my scrub brush that I was cleaning with in the sink where our dishes go. And there was food all over my brush.
I hate to say that I complain to her the most, but it's true I do. And I'm sure most people with spouses do the same.
Not more than 10 minutes later, I am complaining again. How much food is all over my brush and wah, wah, wah. Oh my gosh. I couldn't help myself. Maybe I'm going to find at the end of this that I'm just one big complainer. I think I'm not conscious of how much I'm actually complaining.
What if I think complain? Does that count? Or does it only matter if there's an actual verbal complaint? Because I definitely have been monitoring my thinking and going, am I complaining about this in my own head with my thoughts? So it's nice to not complain. I enjoy it.
Today I've been by myself. There hasn't been anybody to talk to. And so therefore, I really haven't complained, right? Well, I got to thinking about it. I was working on something challenging with the computer and I'm really trying to learn this thing, right?
Gosh, you know what? I just had conversations with friends and I don't know if I complained. I don't think I did. I think I was pretty positive. And it's interesting, to evaluate a complaint if you're just stating something. Is it a complaint? I think complaints come with a general feeling.
I have all of this stuff going on in my head. I can't do it. Negative self-doubt, trying my hardest to figure things out, and then, I can't do it. And anyway, the chatter that goes on in your brain.
You know, there's not enough food in the refrigerator, or traffic sucks today, or I wish it wasn't raining, or I wish it wasn't so hot. I guess those would be kind of in the category of complaints, and I have not done that. I feel pretty good about that.
I think that should actually count as complaining. Even though I'm not around anybody, it's still going on in my brain. It's not positive. It doesn't help me. Day 2, I think I failed, but I think I won because I acknowledge that I'm still doing complaining inside my head. Anyway, what do you think? Let me know.
I don't think complaining does anything good for the world. I think it affects everybody around you in sort of a negative way. So we'll see how the rest of the week goes. We got 5 more days.
I was pretty positive this morning, left for my doctor's appointment, got home, said hi to the dog, Jason, went outside, proceeded to water my plants. Well, came back in, I was dripping sweat. It was in my eye, it was burning.
I remember when I was younger being told that it's healthy to blow off steam, right? Like yell into a pillow and blow off that steam. And so that may be what started me on my kind of trajectory of when something's on my mind or bothering me, I just let it out.
So I immediately started complaining about how my eye was burning and I was sweating to death out there. And then I proceeded to move on to how these worms were decimating my parsley plants. Jason says to me, Mindy, you might want to write all those down. Those are all complaints.
But what I don't realize is how kind of selfish that approach is, right? Because it doesn't really impact you in a negative way, although I would argue that it does a little bit. What it does is it impacts the people around you in a negative way, especially those really close to you. For example, if I come into the house and complain to Mindy, Mindy goes into fix-it mode, as every spouse tries to do.
I quickly realized, oh man, I failed. But it's funny because we're not sometimes conscious of how much we actually complain. I wasn't even thinking about it at all. I was just thought it was part of conversating with Jason.
So it's a little bit selfish on my part to drop all of that onto her. So in that way, I think complaining is definitely not a good thing.
I'm still away from Jason. We are doing this separate, and I really haven't spoke with anybody today other than myself because our brains are constantly going and we're constantly chatting with ourselves, and I still feel like that is a form of complaining.
There really is something to being a little bit more quiet, not only verbally, but in your own head, right?
Today it was pretty good because I was really trying to be present with my thoughts. And I really have found through this challenge that I am not that great at it.
That's the biggest highlight so far, is that it's made me really evaluate how much disapproval I have for just regular life. It's so interesting.
I do not talk very nice to myself. Going forward, I really want to try to be more present with my thoughts, maybe open my day with something positive.
I really do think there are 2 parts to complaining. You know, the outward part is more affecting the people around you. It affects you too, but it definitely is more of a selfish thing. You start to affect the people around you. The internal part just really blocks you from being calm and quiet and content and appreciating life for what it is. So
give myself a little more self-care, self-love, positive affirmations, call it whatever you want. I really feel like I need to do that for myself. Today, that is my lesson.
This is an incredible challenge. I think anybody should try, just really making an attempt not to complain. And I think it needs to go beyond 7 days, obviously. But so far, I'm really enjoying the challenge.
But the next time that I am around other people, I really want to observe the conversation that you're bringing to people. Is it negative? Is it positive?
So what do I find myself complaining about the most? It's really just everyday stuff. Maybe I'm trying to have a quiet moment and the mower, someone's mowing their lawn next door, or traffic, or it's really hot outside, or I'm sweating. The regular stuff.
Just by simply observing, are you giving them things that would give a bad vibe? Are there clues to them wanting to exit the conversation? Maybe you're being really negative, right?
But if you get spooled up over that little stuff, man, when the big stuff happens, you obviously probably aren't handling that stuff very well.
Or if you're really positive on that end, like, are they enjoying the conversation? I can't tell you how many times I've talked to somebody and the weight of the conversation had brought me down to a point where I just really wanted to step away.
This little effort of attempting to not complain reveals a lot about yourself. I think it could take a lot of time to rewire that aspect of yourself that sees disapproval in the world.
And then there have been other times, many other times, that I've talked to people where you just want to continue the conversation. That brought up a point for myself, like, what am I bringing to people? What kind of energy am I giving off? Am I giving off negative energy? Am I giving off that positive energy?
But it's interesting to make that shift and start to really pay attention to it. You notice kind of how much angst you have, how much disapproval you have for just average everyday stuff, normal life stuff.
I want to be a light to people, but I honestly don't know if I do. I didn't realize how much I'm actually doing that. So even with your own husband or your significant other, are you conscious of how you're chatting with them? So the next time you're out, observe your conversations. Are you bringing light to somebody? Or are you bringing the negativity?
Yeah, so final thoughts on no complaining. What do you think? How
Well,
did
I
it
think
go?
for such a short challenge, first of all, it was not easy at all.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how I immediately started complaining and then how really unconscious I was, especially just even talking to my partner. What did you think? Was it easy or
I think it
hard?
was difficult, and I think the hardest part was we were kind of separated. You guys didn't know this. I mean, we mentioned it a couple times, but we were separated for most of it. And I think complaining, you heard us say it throughout the video, I think personally complaining it leaves a negative impact on other people, but also, of course, yourself. I think the big question is, how much are we going to continue that going forward? I mean, beyond 7 days?
Yeah, I'm just being realistic. I've already kind of lost some of it, but then I do have moments though where I go, like today I came home and I told you, I'm like, wow, it's just really negative. I think I'm a little more conscious at least.
Yeah, for me personally, I'm going to keep it going. I think it's something that I've tried to do a lot anyway. So I'm not going to stop after 7 days. I'm going to be really conscious of just being a little bit more quiet. I'd rather say nothing than just have some complaint, because I don't want to affect you. I don't want to affect people around me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to affect myself. I want to try to eliminate that negative thinking and replace it with more positive thoughts.
I think each time you recognize it, it's a little win, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a little bit closer to becoming maybe that person in the long term.
Yeah, and I would say too, you don't want to beat yourself up when you do notice it, right?
I did.
Like you just said, it's a win to even notice it, because most of the time we just run along without really even thinking about it.
And remember too what I said in one of my videos is really be observant and watch how your conversation is with others and vice versa, how their conversation is to you. How does it make you feel? Do you feel good? Do you feel not so good?
Yeah, it's a good indication in the reaction you're getting too. If they're feeling like they want to back out of the conversation, or you do. Oh, how cute, there's a little tiny lizard right there. Oh my goodness, wow. Anyway, so how you can tell right away if you're impacting someone in a negative way. So yeah, it was a good challenge. I would challenge you guys to try it just to see if you can.
Just 7 days. I'm
7
telling
days.
you, I thought it was going to be easy. It is not easy, but do it because you'll really realize how much you do or do not.
Yep, absolutely. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video. Give us a like, give us a subscribe.
Yep. See
Bye.
you then. Bye.